Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Oh, look, I got some tickets to give away. Some guy named John made a pretty good intro for us. We'll go ahead and play that now for Dead or Alive. Thank you, Mr. Jovi. Welcome to Dead or Alive. We'll start with Jackie in Fort Worth. You're my first contestant on Dead or Alive. You ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, Jackie. Robbie Knievel, the son of Evil Knievel, is he dead or alive?
He is dead.
He is dead. Tony Danza, I know him from Who's the Boss. If you're older than me, you know him from Taxi. Is he dead or alive?
He is alive.
He is alive. 73 years old. The man's name is Dennis Haskins. Me and other Gen Xers know him as Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. Is he dead or alive?
He is dead.
Mr. Belding's still alive, 73 years old. Dang it, Jackie, I was trying to give you some tickets. Thank you for playing.
Hoping to get some tickets.
I know, right? Sorry about that. Barbara in Dallas, you're next up on Dead or Alive. You ready?
Yep.
Are you in a hurricane? Is that where you're at right now?
Sort of. No, I'm on I-20, so.
It's almost as loud. All right. Donna Summers, the singer Donna Summers, is she dead or alive?
Dead.
She is dead. Died in 2012. Well done. Sophia Loren.
Dead.
She's alive. Understandable, though. She is 90 years old. So, yeah, she's still with us, though.
So
Yeah, she might be listening to the James Show. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate the attempt. Eric in Fort Worth, you're next up on Dead or Alive. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. The actress's name is Pam Dawber, Dawber. We all know her as Mindy McConnell from Mork and Mindy. Is Mindy alive? Dead or alive?
Dead.
I mean, no, she's alive, 73.
Oh. All right.
Sorry, bud. You don't know your Mork and Mindy trivia? Don't worry, I didn't either. Who's this? Billy in Lake Highlands, you're next up on Dead or Alive. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we're chewing them up and spitting them out today, so good luck. Dallas Cowboy legend, Bill Bates. Is he dead or alive?
Man, he is alive.
Yes, 63 years old. He might be listening to the James Show right now. If you are Bill Bates, send me a little Facebook message or email me, james@wbap.com.
They could use him right now on defense.
Oh, yeah, even at 63 years old, they need him right now. Jacqueline Smith, one of the Charlie's Angels. Jacqueline Smith, dead or alive?
Oh, Jacqueline Smith, she's dead.
Jacqueline Smith is alive. I appreciate your misplaced confidence, though. That was funny. Thank you, Billy in Lake Highlands. He was so proud of himself. All right, we only got two left for you, Lewis in Midlothian. You ready for Dead or Alive?
Yes, sir.
All right. Steve Bartlett, he's the former Dallas mayor from the 90s. Is he dead or alive?
He's alive.
He is alive, 77 years old. I remember that guy. And finally, country music legend Merle Haggard. Is he dead or alive?
He's dead.
He is dead. All right, congratulations, Lewis in Midlothian. Do not hang up. I'm going to put you on hold, but Garrett's going to pick up in just a second, get your information, and you have won two tickets to see Rascal Flatts, the Life is a Highway tour, coming to Dickies Arena on March 27th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. When we're in this last little 2-week span here, this is also the time we're fading out of October surprise territory. I know it's still October. I know there's still 15 days until the election. But usually, if an October surprise is going to come out, it doesn't happen at the last minute. It has to have time to hit and then spread and then be effective in finding, the people who are low information voters. And you don't do that on November 3rd or 4th. You do that a week or two in advance. And so now, as we move toward the election day, the idea that there's going to be some big shakeup, some big story, some big surprise actually dwindles from this day until we get to November 5th. But I think it's pretty interesting to see that 92 days Kamala Harris has been the assumed nominee. Still not one press conference. Now, she did some more interviews over the weekend. She talked to some intellectual heavyweights like Al Sharpton. And the other big story out of the weekend was yesterday. I didn't think this would be this big of a deal, but I'm glad it is. Donald Trump decided that he was going to go work at a McDonald's for a few minutes. And the pushback on it I've enjoyed this so much because it's a political stunt. Everyone knows it's a political stunt. Everything that you do when you're running for office is a political stunt. You know, when you're president, going to McDonald's or going to get ice cream is necessarily, you know, you have to think, is this good for my PR? Is this what I should be doing right now? And is this going to get me some good press? Is this? They think about this for everything. But no one really thought Donald Trump got a job at McDonald's, did they? I mean, like, no one thinks. Everyone knows this is a stunt. There's not one person in America that's like, oh, this billionaire, what, he fill out an application and he just got his I-9 at McDonald's and is going to do a few shifts? No one thought that. So for them to go, oh, this is just some kind of stage photo op. Yeah, we know that. Well, here's MSNBC talking to Barbara Lee, Congresswoman from California, the fun one that used to be in the Black Panthers. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
He's going to this McDonald's and he's in the Philadelphia area. He's going to work a fryer, apparently, before he goes to the Steelers versus Jets game. I mean, if you're on his campaign, and I know you are certainly not, I'm not making any implication of that.
No, but I thought you were.
What is the logic behind this, going to a McDonald's? I mean,
before you hear her answer, you know damn well what the logic is. There's two big pieces of logic here. Number one is Kamala Harris used to say she worked at McDonald's, and then she was accused of lying, and she stopped saying it. She doesn't say that on the campaign trail anymore, and if it's so damn true, why'd you stop saying it? But she said that for a while until someone working for McDonald's said, listen, I've gone through all the employee records, and I was hoping to prove that she had just to shut everybody up, and we can't find anything. Now, that doesn't mean she didn't work at McDonald's. That just means that we don't have the records of a Kamala Harris working in McDonald's. And where was this at? Was this when she was in high school in Montreal? Was this when she was in college at Howard? And so we're even trying to narrow it down, and we have a little more information, and we have the sleuths on the job, and they could not find any evidence. They couldn't find a coworker. They couldn't find a manager. They couldn't find a witness. They couldn't find a name tag. They couldn't find anything. No special sauce, nothing. So we know why. One of the reasons he's doing it. The other one is, it's always good for politicians to go be doing what the common man does, you know, not looking like a billionaire, not sitting on a golden toilet. He's working the fry machine. I don't do it now, but I've worked the fry machine before. Haven't you? I mean, if you're listening to this show, maybe at some point you probably did. But anyway, let's hear Barbara Lee's answer.
No, the guy likes Big Macs and filet of fish, and he's used the word love to describe the way he feels about the food there.
Why is she mocking him? He's used the word love. Like, I can mock people. I'm a funny little opinionated talk show host. She's on a news channel. She's supposed to be doing the news.
But what's this about?
There's no logic to it. It's a stunt. He has not put forth an economic agenda.
No.
He, as you know, appears to be not well. And he's engaged in some really bizarre types of activities during this campaign. So this is just another one of those stunts that he will continue on through the campaign. And I think that we need to really focus on making sure that he is not elected, of course, because he is a threat to our democracy, but also the Harris loss agenda is about the economy, reducing the cost of living, reducing the cost of prescription drugs.
How many bullet points can she get in on this answer?
Reducing the cost of housing and making life better for everyone. And that's what we have to focus on and make sure we get every voter to the polls and make sure that the voters vote for the future, not taking the country backwards, as you see what Donald Trump continues to try to do.
We've had reports, Tarrant County, Fort Worth Star-Telegram has a report, Tarrant County polling stations, some of whom had a 45-minute wait today. Now, I've seen lots of reports of long lines. I've also seen reports of, hey, it's long lines, but they're moving fast. Also, in this Fort Worth Star-Telegram report, the people are saying that it's unusual, but they don't expect this to be the norm just because this is the first day of early voting and people wanted to get it in. If you didn't get it in today and you want to go try tomorrow, they don't expect this rush to continue and be steady throughout the 2 weeks of early voting, which makes sense. The people who do early vote, though, one of the questionable things about it, though, is if you early vote and then something comes out between now and election day that could change your mind. That's one of the great arguments against it. I think, though, since Texas only has 2 weeks of early voting, that's not really as much of a concern for us. I don't think most of you people would change your minds anyway. But I just wanted to point it out that it's underway and it is popular. And if you're looking to do it and you haven't done it today, and don't get discouraged by the reports of long lines. That is not expected to be the norm. Now, you probably saw by now that Donald Trump went out and he did one of his photo ops. And of course it was staged. Of course it was just a photo op. Of course he's just doing an election campaign appeal to specific voter demographics. Of course, everything they do in a presidential election cycle is like that. No one thought that he really got a job at McDonald's. No one thought that. I mean, even if he is going to get a job at McDonald's, why would it be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania? Why wouldn't he do it like in Palm Beach? Isn't that where his Mar-a-Lago is? Why wouldn't it be by Mar-a-Lago or maybe his New York City place? So it's fun to see people like get their fur ruffled over this, because it was like, what was that, last week when Tim Walz went out hunting and people were pointing out like, hey, all of his gear, all of his bright orange hunting gear is brand new. Like you can still see the folds on it. Like they just took it out of the package. He's not really hunting. This is just a photo op. Of course it's just a photo op. Of course it is. That's what they're all doing. So if you criticize the one last week, but you don't have the same criticism for the one this weekend, you may want to reevaluate your double standards. Team Red, same thing for you, Team Blue. If you didn't criticize Tim Walz's fake hunting trip last week, but you have a problem with the fake fry cook thing over the weekend, I detect a little inconsistency in your approach as well. But I do enjoy watching people. What are you upset about? He goes to McDonald's, he makes fries, and look, part of the audio that they're playing, is a little bit of dialogue he has with a couple people he's handing off food to. The part that I really liked, I have the audio, but it's boring, so I'm not going to play it, is when the guy is teaching him how to work the machines and what we do. And this bin is for new fries. And once you get them all scooped, you move them to the bin so we don't mix old fries with new fries. And, that has like a 7-minute shelf life, or just teaching him how to do it. And then you got to see Trump go through it and putting on the apron. And policy definitely matters more than this personality stuff. But there's a lot of people like me who, before you found out what your true calling is or your adult career is, you had to take whatever job you could get when you were in high school, maybe even college or after that. And a lot of us have dropped fries before. And again, I just want to reiterate, no, this shouldn't decide your vote, but it sure does dispel the whole caricature that they've been making of this guy as some bloodthirsty neo-Nazi that's foaming at the mouth. Some evil neo-Hitler. I don't know. Did Hitler ever put on an apron and a McDonald's visor and go drop some fries? I mean, again, I know this wasn't his real job and it was just for show, but that's a connection. A lot of us have dropped fries. A lot of us have used those frying machines. And seeing a guy who, one of the distance we should have between ourselves and Donald Trump is that he doesn't know what we go through. He was raised upper middle class, and now he's a bazillionaire, and he doesn't know what he doesn't know what a guy that works at McDonald's goes through. Well, kind of, a little bit. He at least has a taste or a smell of what they go through. And if passing out Happy Meals and wearing the uniform of the most common people among us, how is this guy the big monstrous threat to democracy? See, the more you see him put himself in these humble positions with the salt of the earth, this isn't a prestigious thing to go work at McDonald's, to be dropping fries, to be wearing the visor, to be putting on an apron at your job. There's no prestige there, but that is endearing stuff. It's better than going and hanging out with celebrities and having George Clooney host your fundraiser, and then you have Jack Black come out and talk about how awesome you are and whatnot, all the connections there. So Barbara Lee, I played a clip from her earlier. This was the other clip I had pulled. We know what this is kind of about. It's not just the cool, touch grass, touch Indians, be with the salt of the earth people. It's also forcing a lot of people to have a conversation about Kamala, who used to say she worked at McDonald's, who stopped saying she worked at McDonald's because there's no evidence that she worked at McDonald's.
Donald Trump has lied repeatedly, or rather accused Kamala Harris of lying repeatedly about working at a McDonald's way back in the day when she was younger. I mean, what's the point of that?
Was it done cooking?
There is no point. And I have known the vice president for over 3 decades, and she tells the truth. And what does Donald Trump do? He's constantly telling lies about every single thing. And I'm confident that the voters understand that lies are not going to get him elected, but we have to focus on making sure that the agenda of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are put forward so that every voter know that we're going to move this country forward under their leadership and not backwards. And that is essential at this point in time in our country.
I hope he doesn't get any grease on his crisp white shirt there. Anyway.
Oh, I hope you didn't get any grease. How do we know it's a lie? What evidence has been presented that she worked at McDonald's? You know, my first job, I'm trying to think about, one of the first places I dropped fries. There's a fryer at my first job, but that restaurant doesn't exist anymore. It wasn't part of a large chain that has a database going back into the 90s. For her, I guess this would be going back into the 80s or maybe even before that. But I could prove to you, if I probably don't have any check stubs laying around. There might be a picture. There's a witness. I could call people who worked with me. I could call the guy who ran the place, Carlos, if he's still in business. I could have proved by now. If I was running for president and people say, what was your first job? I was a busboy at Armadillo Willie's. Well, yeah, prove it. You would have proof. You would have proof in what, a week? Don't you think it's weird that we don't have the proof for her working at McDonald's? McDonald's keeps those records. Is she lying about that? Now we have to have that conversation, and that was the brilliance of him going to McDonald's. Totally loved it. All right, we're going to finish the James Show today. I promised you another keyword for those of you trying to win the trip to see Motley Crue in Vegas. Your keyword is DOWN, DOWN. You text that right now to 95819, and boom, you get another entry to win the chance to go see Motley Crue in Vegas, Dolby Live at Park MGM. The word DOWN to 95819. Stick around. Coming up next, the great one, Mark Levin. I'm James Parker, and this has been The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.